So I arrived Havana without having any plans or a place to stay. As I was walking down the street of Malagon, a beautiful Bollywood near the ocean, with some music playing, I was approached by three young females. One of them started grinding at me. As I was pretty shocked, her parents came by and caught us dancing, and quickly made a little compliment on their daughter, and they said, "Qué linda como bailas, mi nena." I said goodbye to them and kept walking. I started to make my observations of how Cuban women are, the way that they walk, they dance to music. It just looks beautiful and sexy and very seductive. So I decided to do a little research about the social constructions of female genders in Cuba. And I was very lucky to meet a friend who is from Cuban background to do a little interview with.
Women are perceived as precious and yet still valuable for the economy. They're part of the workforce and yet they're also part of the family. Women were a valuable part of the economy of the country. They were valuable workers. They worked alongside the men. They would have factory jobs. They would have farming jobs. And then you had the different social elite in Cuba as well. And those women might not be part of the work structure. But the precious part of women is, you're right, when a little Cuban girl, the first thing that they do is get their ears pierced before they're let out of the hospital. They're born and they get their ears pierced. So they immediately get to adorn something precious. And if when there's music always around in a Cuban household, and good food and lots of family, and there's lots of parties, lots of social events. So as soon as the music comes on, if you're a toddler and you see your mom and your dad dancing and your aunt and your uncle and your grandmother dancing, when you're a toddler, you're going to start swaying, meneala, meneala. You're going to start swaying your hips, and they're going to be encouraging. They're going to be saying, "Ay, qué linda, mira cómo anda, mira cómo baila." And so that's encouraged from a young age. There are also social acceptances of body types. In fact, in Cuba, if you were a skinny girl, that meant maybe you didn't have a whole lot of money to eat. So it was that social economic piece to it. You wanted to have hips, you wanted to have a bottom, you wanted to have meat on you. They would call it, you have a lot of meat on you. Oh, well, she's well taken care of. They've got a lot of money. And you got to know how to move it. There is that double standard, a little bit archaic double standard where it's socially acceptable for men to have a roaming eye for more than just one woman. There's a little joke out that says you can look but don't touch. So it's socially acceptable for Cuban women to know that their husbands are going to be roving eyes. You hope that they just don't rove, period.